How's everyone doing? This is going to be another what didn't make the shelf video. I've been doing a bunch of these, but I'm trying to downsize the collection. I have over 6,000 movies. I want to get it down to about 2,500 because realistically, how many movies can you rewatch in your lifetime? And there's a lot of life changes going on. Space is at a premium. You see the two bookcases behind there, but I've got 13 total bookcases in piles everywhere. We got stacks actually right in front of me too. But let me know if you've seen any of these movies. I've got 10 titles that didn't make the shelf right there. And let me know if you like these movies. Even, I enjoy hearing differing opinions. So let me know what is your favorite from here. Let me know if you're trying to downsize anything in your collection as well. For me, I don't want to keep anything in my collection I can't see myself rewatching again. I don't want to have something just to have it. And I've sold over 10, probably actually 11,000 movies at this point in the past 5 years. So that is mind-blowing to think. So I've hit a bit of an impasse because I've gotten rid of so much. And every month I get in about 30 titles. So I want to get out double that amount each month. But let's go ahead and get into it. There are some movies that I actually enjoy. It's just like this one right here. I enjoy this movie. But I'm just thinking I'd probably rather rewatch about 30 other comedy movies before I want to rewatch this one again. I revisited it. I liked it a lot as a kid. It's not quite as funny as I remember it being, but it's still entertaining. The Patrick Ewing scene is my favorite scene in here. It's Senseless with Marlon Wayans and David Spade. Matthew Lillard is in here too as kind of like the punk roommate. He's got a lot of piercings everywhere. And Marlon Wayans takes this experimental drug from Brad Dourif, of course, from Chucky and Child's Play, but it heightens his senses essentially. And comedy ensues. I got a chance to meet Marlon Wayans one time at my local comedy club and Sean, and they were not friendly, especially him. He was a jerk, but I feel like I've heard stories about him being that way back in the day, but I've heard stories that now he's more fan-friendly. I feel like he realizes he needs it, especially from the Haunted House movie that he was doing, like those kind of parody movies. But this one, to me, it's still entertaining. It's just not quite as funny as I remember it being. And also, I found out this is crazy out of print. And the only one on eBay, they're asking $200 for it. And I was blown away by that. And there was nothing in the sold listings. So I think the sold listings are 90 days. And then I posted about it on a Facebook group, what's a realistic price to ask for this? And the person who was selling it, I believe, commented and saying, the last one that they saw sold over 3 months ago went for over 100. Which is mind-blowing for this movie, Senseless. And I don't know if this will ever get, reissued, re-released, because I think it was 9 years ago it was released, and I don't know what the demand is for this, but you never know. They have all kinds of movies that get releases that don't have a high demand and re-releases, so maybe one day, but I think I'd rather have, 70, $80 instead of this movie. And then, I was posting about what I should ask for in this Facebook group, and people were saying, there's 2 on Amazon, merchant sellers. And then the new condition one was going for 125, and then the good condition one was going for 88. And good condition, this is new. I feel like anything with, good condition, very good, anything like that, it could be a form of rental, it could have a lot of issues. So as long as it's playable, I get it. But if you're buying that much, you're spending that much money, you're buying it as a collector, you want great condition essentially. So this is new condition, and I feel like I'd rather have this 70, $80 than keep this on my shelf and maybe watch it once more ever, if that. And I definitely would rather watch other Marlon Wayans and David Spade comedy movies over this one too. So yeah, it was decently entertaining to rewatch it, but doesn't hold up to my memory of it. And this is directed by Penelope Spheris, who directed Wayne's World, Black Sheep with David Spade, Chris Farley, Suburbia. She directed The Little Rascals and Beverly Hillbillies. So it was a couple, TV adaptations to movies. So she's done a lot in the comedy realm. And this one is, decent, but I would say overall it's a middling comedy movie. So really shocked to see some of the prices for some of these out-of-print Blu-rays. But yeah, this is the old Echo Bridge Merrimack's first time on Blu-ray release. I remember they would have a bunch of those ones like that. I miss Echo Bridge, though. I think they started making it again, but for a long time, they weren't. But I'll go ahead and show you the disc artwork, too, in case anybody wants to see that. But I'm mind-blowing for some of these out-of-print titles, what they go for. Next up is Street Fighter. Beautiful, beautiful steelbook. One of the nicest looking steelbooks, but the movie is trash. It's a dumpster fire of a movie. I saw a lot of people raving about this movie. It's like, how can you not like this movie? How can you like this movie? How can you not like it? It's because it's terrible. It's laughably bad. Raul Julia, you know, he's doing his best with what he has to work with. Took the role very seriously. It was his last movie, but it is such a train wreck of a movie. Terrible dialogue, just cringy, and the effects too. But a beautiful steelbook though. You got that protective slipcover, which I love seeing that. I feel like everybody's raving about the Lionsgate, but Mill Creek's been doing it for a while. Mondo as well. But it's nice to see some of the big studios picking up and doing it as well. The protective slipcover. It's aesthetically appealing, you know, visually stunning. Sometimes they'll have different artwork on there, and it reveals other artwork underneath. But it's also practical. It protects the steelbook. You got Bison right there, and I get beautiful artwork. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. It comes with the, you know, the Bison buck in here, the money, fake money right there, and you got interior artwork. But beautiful steelbook, terrible movie, and I just can't justify keeping it for cool looking artwork. So this one's got to go. I remember watching this one as a kid, and you know, as a kid, you don't know any better. Watching it now, it is just a cringy train wreck of a movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme right there, a few other recognizable people, but terrible, utterly terrible movie. Another terrible one, I remember, I don't think I ever saw the full thing, but I remember seeing parts of it growing up. And this is directed by Robert Altman. Let me know who your, or what your favorite Robert Altman movie is. He's done a ton of great films. Gosford Park. MASH is probably my favorite. Images, which I think is kind of underrated, good psychological horror movie. But Secret Honor. I feel like that's so underrated as a Criterion Collection release. I have the DVD for it. I'd love to see it get a Blu-ray release. But Philip Baker Hall plays Nixon, and he's sequestered in his home after Watergate, and just that performance is based off of a play. Just incredible. Love that movie so friggin' much. But Robert Altman is a great director, but this movie, a train wreck of a movie. This is from 1980. I remember I watched some of the special features, and I was thinking one of the producers said that this is, you know, such a great singing. It's a classic, one of the performances from Shelley Duvall, and it was terrible. This is a musical, and it is so friggin' bad. The songs, one of the songs, it's just Olive Oil, played by Shelley Duvall, you know, talking about Bluto. He's large, he's large. She repeats that line like so many times. It's so bad. All the songs are terrible. It's just, I don't want to say it's a product of its time, because that's giving it a pass. The same thing with some of these other movies. Some of the effects are dated for sure, but I understand that aspect of it. But the movie itself, the script, the dialogue, just everything. Robin Williams as Popeye, the arms, it's everything about it was terrible. Just so bad, unwatchably bad. This is the 40th anniversary edition, first time on Blu-ray. If you're a fan of this movie somehow, you'll be pleased with this release. Good special features and stuff on there. But it was a train wreck of a movie. Unwatchable. I should have turned it off. I like to finish movies that I start, but this is one of those ones where it's just so cringy, so terribly bad. The dialogue, just everything about it, the singing, the songs, ugh. And I just should have stopped it, but I sat through it. It was a battle of attrition to get through. But terrible. Never want to. It was like punishment sitting through this movie. Instead of waterboarding, make them watch Popeye. Make them watch Street Fighter. Next up is one that I think was actually a good movie, a really interesting story, based on a true story about Josh Hartnett, who's a reporter, and he's trying to find the truth behind this story where the Canadian government essentially framed this innocent man and had him sentenced to life in a Thai prison. So basically about this guy who got framed for a heroin bust, and all orchestrated by dirty cops in Canada. Stephen McHattie, tremendous actor, big fan. He's done so many movies. There's a movie, I want to say it was called The Dark, which I definitely love to see that get a Blu-ray release. I have a DVD bootleg as VHS transfer for it, but I really enjoy the heck out of that one. He's in there. But Pontypool is one that I love, really good. I consider it an underrated horror movie, but he's in there. He's been in so many different movies. But yeah, I thought this was a really interesting film, and it's great to see Josh Hartnett in more movies. I feel like he was kind of blacklisted for a bit. I heard different things about why. He was turning down some popular roles. Apparently, he might have been in the running to play Superman at a point, and he didn't want to do it. But I'm a big fan of Josh Hartnett. 30 Days of Night is my favorite vampire movie. Love the heck out of that one. If you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. Let me know what your favorite Josh Hartnett movie is. But again, I think this is a good movie, but I don't know if I'm going to want to revisit it, anytime soon at least. So it's got to go. Next up is Just Visiting. This one is An interesting one because it is a remake of a French film called Visitors, which also stars Jean Reno and then the sidekick character. And there's a sequel to that one too. So this is an American remake of that. It has Tara Reid in here too, but Christina Applegate is the lead. Christian Clavier, I think, was probably his name, the sidekick. But it's basically they're in medieval times. These knights right here, and then they wizard essentially transports them to like modern day, and it's the relative of Christina Applegate right there, and trying to get them back to their time period. And hilarity, romance kind of ensues as well. There's Tara Reid right there on the back. It's decently entertaining, but it's not great by any means. Oh, and one thing I wanted to say too, Street Fighter. The director right here is Steven D'Souza, who is actually a really talented writer. He's done a lot of writing for like action movies, Commando, 48 Hour. He did like the screenplay, Die Hard, a whole bunch of other ones too, Judge Dredd, Running Man. I think he even wrote the Flintstones movie too, but he's done a lot of action movies, writing the screenplays and stuff like that. So he has a lot of knowledge and for doing action movies. This is essentially an action movie. It's a video game adapted movie, but one of the worst ones. I think Double Dragon's the worst one that I've seen, and this one too. Let me know what your favorite video game adapted movie is and your least favorite. But Silent Hill gets a lot of criticism, but that's up there. Tomb Raider, if you want to put that in there too. Rampage with The Rock. I feel like you had a little to work with, so they could have done a lot to change that and make that the way it was. But there's a few good ones out there, but not too many. There's a lot of terrible ones. Resident Evil, there's so many Resident Evil movies out there. Some of the CGI ones are actually pretty good, but I haven't checked out the newest Resident Evil movie, but I plan to. But I love the first two for that series. But yeah, Street Fighter, they just popped into my head. I wanted to talk about that. Steven D'Souza, really good, talented writer, but unfortunately for that film, directing wise, it was rough. But yeah, just visiting. I'd say average at best. And then next up is The Marrying Man. This is the movie, I think it was 1990 it came out. But this is the movie that Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger, they met on, and they had a romance, and they ended up getting married, and then very tumultuous relationship, divorce, and lots of issues of the custody of the child. And yeah, this was, I remember it being decently entertaining, but one that I was like, I hated kind of the way that it plays out, especially the ending. They keep, getting together, breaking up over and over again. And he's this millionaire playboy, and he essentially meets this girl and marries her. And she's a Vegas lounge singer, and his friends are all kind of like shocked about the way things are going. And she's involved with some other people that don't want to see this relationship happen. And it's just, a lot of passion initially, and I guess throughout the film, but very tumultuous relationship, probably, it sounds like, in this movie and then in real life as well. So I thought it was interesting that this is the movie that they met and, started their, kindled their romance. But yeah, overall, it had a lot of issues. So that one's gonna go. I liked aspects of it, but overall, it could have been better than it was. Next up is one that I actually haven't seen. I've had it for so long, and I was like, you know what? I like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's in here. That's the big selling point. It's one of his earlier films. I want to say 2003, something like that. Bronson, really good film from him. I think he's a really talented actor, but I can't stand him in the Venom movies. The Venom movies, the humor is a little bit too much, and then his accent is terrible. I think he's good as Eddie Brock, way better than Topher Grace, where that was terribly miscast for Spider-Man 3. But the voice, the accent, the fake accent that he's got going on is so bad. And just the acting that the way that he delivers it, I assume it's the way that he's told to deliver it, but it just doesn't work. And those movies just miss the mark for me. I think he's good as Eddie Brock, but the look anyways, but not the voice, the accent, the delivery of the lines. But I think he's a talented actor, and I feel like I've had so many different other military drama-esque movies, and I've seen so many, and this one to me just, I saw the trailer, I've had it for so long, it just doesn't really intrigue me. And so I decided to, purge this one from the collection. This one's out of print, and the only one I think on eBay, I want to say it's like $60. So again, I'd rather have, I'm going to try to, undercut and sell probably about half of that, maybe 35 actually, I'm going to try to get for it. So I think I'd rather have that for, instead of this taking up space on the shelf. Again, I've seen so many other movies. I've heard mixed things on it too, so that also didn't help. But yeah, it's just different, drama in the military. And I guess one of the characters becomes a deserter. It says that they join the French Legion, and, fellow recruits and there's trying to escape the past, and so there's going to be drama there too. I appreciate, character development. Sounds like that's going to happen here, but overall, I just feel like I've seen so many movies like this. It gets a bit derivative, and there's, Jarhead, I think, is a great one, but there's other ones that it's kind of doing the same formula and not as good, and that sounds like it's going to be the case there. And if there's so many movies that I've had for so long, and if I haven't watched it by now, it's time to let them go. Like when Blockbuster went out, I went wild. I got all these movies for $1, and then they just sat, and I just thought, oh, for $1, why the heck not? Same thing with Dollar Tree. Trying to, even they have some good deals, and it's low risk, possible high reward. You can find a hidden gem or something like that. It takes up space. It's space is a premium, and sometimes people can get carried away. You buy so many because it's such a great deal, and then they just sit. And I realized, I'm probably not going to be interested in watching. There's so many other movies that I'd rather watch, and new movies coming out. So time to get rid of those movies that are just taking up space. Next up is a movie that I've had since probably like 2001 when I was working at Sam Goody. Sam Goody, remember that? That was a thing. I was assistant manager trainee, and I was in like a college town, and then like kind of a city, urban kind of area too. And there's a train station right across from the Sam Goody. So every day people would try to like steal something and then go catch the train. It was wild. There was people, this is during like the CD disc Walkman era, and people would always try to take those and stuff like that. And I remember one time there was, we had VHS tapes, and there was like naked yoga. I remember like a homeless guy was trying to steal that. There's so many crazy stories from working there. But I have the Family Values Fall Tour 98, still brand new, sealed. And this apparently goes for money. The last one that was brand new, still sealed, went for like $50. And there was only one on Macari, and it sold for $35, and that was used and not in good condition. So I'd rather have, the money for this one. And brand new, still sealed, live performances. You can't write that name on Macari, or I'd probably not even eBay either. I don't have an eBay account, but you got Korn, Rammstein, Ice Cube, Limp Bizkit, live performances there, and band interviews, behind the scenes stuff, and there's some of the songs. But again, I've had this brand new, still sealed for 21 years now, apparently. Mind blowing. It's so crazy. I'm actually going to do a video talking about collecting for how I first got into it and where I'm at now. Very first DVD I remember getting was like, I want to say 1999, and DVDs were like $35 to $40 in that range. I still remember like the first DVDs I ever got: Last Mohicans, Goodfellas, John Carpenter's The Thing. I think those were like my first three. Casino might have been on there too, but yeah, those were like the first ones. But this is a very early DVD. And I have a bunch of like music stuff. I got rid of a bunch before. I didn't look to see if they were out of print. They probably were. And could have got more money than I got for them. But I feel like a lot of these ones, I could watch these videos on YouTube and stuff, and probably potentially better picture quality now than when this DVD was made. But I still have a bunch of other ones. Like I have an Eminem one. I'm keeping that one. Billy Joel, a few different other ones. But we'll see. Maybe I'll purge them eventually. But for now, that one's got to go. Family Values Tour. Let me know who your favorite band of all time is. Next up, I've got 2 copies of The Stand, the original miniseries, and then the newest one, which came out, I guess, 2020, 2021. And I've got one that's open and one that is brand new, still sealed. So I haven't seen the new one. I'm gonna check it out. I love the original one. The casting for the new one is like a mixed bag for me. Some of them that I like: Alexander Skarsgård, I think, is really good. Whoopi Goldberg, James Marsden, J.K. Simmons, Heather Graham, Greg Kinnear, a few other people. Again, I like some of them. Some of them I'm kind of iffy on, but I enjoy the original one. I've got the original one on Blu-ray now, and if I like the new one, I'll pick that up on Blu-ray instead. But for now, I'm gonna get rid of both of these sets. Because they're taking space. And again, I get people asking me, why do you have double duplicates? Because sometimes I'll buy lots from other sellers and then resell it if it's a great deal. Even if it's like sometimes certain sellers will have duplicates. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. If there are 2, 3 of the same title in a big stack for a great deal, you can't pass it up. A lot of times you can flip the digital codes and make the money back for what you initially paid. So those didn't have digital copies, but there you go. Those are the movies that didn't make the shelf. And again, I got this idea from Joe Marie over Martinez Joe 74. I used to do a video series similar to that called Keep or Toss, where I would ask your opinion on it. but I feel like if I'm debating about getting rid of it, I should just get rid of it and not ask anybody else's opinion. Their video idea was definitely better, an improvement on my one. So thank you for that idea. It's cathartic and it's helping me get rid of more stuff that I need to get rid of. Every day I try to go through and, whittle it down a couple at a time, and it'll, create a stack. And so I'm doing more of these videos. You're seeing a bunch of them, but it's helpful. Again, I have over 6,000 movies right now. I'm trying to get it to 2,500, a little bit at a time. I've definitely hit an impasse, but this is helping. But there you go. If you've seen any of them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Even if you like them, I like hearing differing opinions. Let me know which one of these is your favorite as well. And let me know, the last good movie you saw. Give me some movie recommendations. Let me know if you're trying to get rid of anything in your collection too, how you feel about collecting. Do you keep things even though you don't like them? Some people do. Some people, I know a lot of people keep stuff brand new, still sealed. I usually try to open stuff right away, but I do have a couple, like that Family Values tour. I guess, that can help actually increase the value of something if you want to resell it. But, I don't typically buy things to, for me personally, if I, buy it to watch it, and I don't buy it initially to resell it unless, again, the lots and stuff like that, that'll pick up. But for something like that, I'm buying it to pick it up to watch it. I know a lot of people keep their Steelbooks brand new, still sealed. Again, I've had issues where it's been the wrong disc inside, or there's been stuff where it's been like you have to have a disc replacement program. It's issues like that. So I feel like it's always good to open up and to see there's no issue in there, no scratches, no wrong disc, no anything missing in there, anything like that that's happened. And then there are disc replacement programs. A bunch of that's been happening recently, especially for a lot of like the premium lines. But there you go. I digress. That's what didn't make the shelf. 3, 6, 9, 10 different titles right here. So let me know what you think. Leave those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well, and look forward to more of these what didn't make the shelf videos, because it's helping me thin down the collection. Take care.